Hi, everybody. So we're here knitting the summer twist sweater top, halter top almost together. And I'm knitting mine from the Nepal, from the suggested yarn. Here, let me make my photograph larger and I can show you where I am. Let's see. Here's one side. So I'm just up to the place where I just split for knitting the back and the front and the armholes. So just split, and it's been pretty straightforward up through here. I can go through and show you a couple of tips um, and answer your questions up until now, and then tell you where I'm at right now and kind of what's going on with how I'm working through the pattern. Hi, Carmen. Welcome. Nice to have you. Okay, so first of all, why don't we start with, has everybody started knitting yet? I know Shar showed us hers. She's got a couple inches. Very good, very good. As is everyone else just at the beginning?
I'm just casting on.
Cool.
Excellent, excellent. So that's your perfect timing. The Norwegian cast on, did everybody get that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to watch several videos.
Yeah, you watch video. It's pretty easy to do. I can show you, but I think everybody can pretty much just hop onto a video, and it gives you a nice edge. I did it here in some other fabric. It's just a nice cast on edge. I mean, in some other yarn, excuse me. Anyway, um, it's just as easy to do as the regular long tail, and so why not? All right. Let's first start with any questions anybody might have as they're starting it. Does anybody have any questions yet?
Well, Pam, I
I,
had done a swatch, pretty good size, like 4 or 5 incher, and I wasn't sure if I was reading the stitches correctly. I was using this little doohickey thing.
yes, I love those.
So
Yeah.
maybe just review. I mean, I dove in and started knitting. I just figured I was close enough and using the size of needles and I don't know, from what I could tell. So maybe could you just review that a little bit?
Before you
You want
jump
me to
into
review
that, I had a
swatching?
problem. I had a problem with mine. I cast it on the size that it said for my size, and it's like got 12 inches of extra material. So I
Oh,
have to
That's way
recast
huge.
on. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's not,
huge.
yeah, that's not going to work. Did you knit your swatch chart in the round?
I did not. I did it flat. And I know that
Okay.
there's a little footnote in there that it'll be different when you do it in the round.
Yeah.
I just felt like I didn't have needles that were small enough, but when I hold up this to other sweaters I've made, it seems fine on the bottom.
Mhm. Yeah,
It
as long
doesn't
as you're,
seem huge to me or anything. And I don't think I'm a tight knitter, but I know that I have to be really careful on those 2 or 3 rows where you really have to count. And I've got little markers, every, 16 spots or whatever.
Mhm.
Just, and then sometimes I'll accidentally drop and I've got to, find it. But it seems to be okay. And I don't know. Um, when I did the swatch, it seemed to soften the yarn too, which softened the fabric, which was nice because I was a little worried at first
Yeah.
that
Don't
it
be
was going to
worried.
be stiff, but it seems to like soften up okay. And I like
Don't,
my color. Mine's the blue, whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a beautiful blue. There were, I think, like three blues options that they gave us, and they were all really nice. It was hard for me to choose. About first, first, let's talk about the yarn, the linen. It's going to be really crunchy when it's in the hank, and don't worry about it at all. That is linen. 100% linen will always be like that. You knit with it a little bit and it softens up, and then wait until you block it. It'll soften up a little bit more, and then you wash it and it will it will soften up more. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. And this is a wonderful quality. Pasquale just makes the most gorgeous yarns. And yeah, don't worry about it being crunchy. Mine already is, like you said, soft from just knitting it.
Mm-hmm.
And it will become even softer as I wear and wash it. Second of all, the swatch, and I've been thinking it might be a good idea just to hold a knit along on swatching and the different kinds and how to swatch and how to choose the right size for your sweater, because with every sweater knit along that we do, that often seems to be an issue. Sometimes we kind of make our best guess, or sometimes we've knitted a lot of sweaters and we kind of have a feel for, kind of where we fall. But I'm learning some, I'm not going to go into it today, but I'm learning some new tricks on how to swatch in the round without having to carry the yarn over the back. There's some really fun ways of doing that. So I think maybe we'll cover that in a different knit along.
Okay.
But good point. The swatching in the round will be much different than swatching flat. So if your measurement is kind of coming out right, I'm sure you're going to be fine.
It feels okay. I was just trying to be diligent in doing a swatch, and I was really curious how it was going to soften. So, I mean, that was part of it too. I just wanted to make sure, yeah, this isn't going to be, I didn't, I didn't use the word crunchy, but that's a good descriptor. Yeah, but it
Yeah,
does
yeah,
soften up definitely. So,
yeah. It is kind of crunchy, so in the beginning, but I think you'll be fine.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Carmen, Becky, Joy, do any of you have any questions that you want answered before we move on?
No.
Okay. I'm going to switch to let's see, body is worked in the round up to the armholes, and then you start the back. And the lace cable pattern, here, let me put you on. The lace cable pattern is really quite simple, quite easy, and after a while, you're going to totally have it memorized. Um, it took me maybe two repeats or whatever to get it memorized, and then it's so easy. And to me, it's the perfect um, chart, because you just have two rows of doing something different, and then you get to knit straight for a few rows, and so you'll watch television, and I love it. So start with your twisted rib bottom, and then move on to the chart. So is everybody good at reading charts, or do you want me to go through that?
If you don't mind going through that, that would be helpful.
Okay, sure. Can you see this or not? Maybe not.
The ring lights and in the reflection.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, here. Shoot, I don't have it in paper. I keep mine like this because otherwise I have paper flying all over my but if you look at your chart right now, you always start, if you're a right-handed knitter, and I assume all of you are right-handed, you start reading the chart from the bottom right corner. So the very bottom right corner, it's knit 3, and then the little hash mark is a knit 2 together. You can tell from the legend. And then a yarn over, knit 6, yarn over, slip stitch, knit the next one, pass the slip stitch over, and knit 3. So you're reading from the right, from the right to the left. And then because you're knitting in the round, now this doesn't matter because this second round is entirely all knit stitches, so it doesn't really matter. But if that should have any different special stitches in it, you would want to go back to the right side and knit from the right to the left again. If you are knitting in the round, you start from the right, go to the left, and you will do that with every row of the chart. If you're knitting flat, you'll go from right to left, and then the next row will be read from left to right. And you'll go up another one and you'll read from right to left again. Now, it doesn't really make a difference in this pattern, but I just wanted to mention that so that so that was really, really clear. So that's really easy. So then you knit around, and then you start with the part of the pattern that makes the most difference, or the most things that you do. And that is you knit 2 stitches, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, and then you will take a little tool of some kind, a cable tool of some kind, and there are many, many, many different kinds. I tried a couple of them that I had before I landed on this one was working the best for me. You take 3 stitches off the left needle, hold them in the back, hold those stitches on that cable needle now in the back. Make sure your yarn is in between the cable needle and this needle, so that if it's behind the cable needle and you start knitting, you're wrapping it, you're wrapping that cable needle up into it. So make sure it's in between. Knit 3 stitches. And then you'll put your yarn behind the cable needle, and you'll take and you'll knit, starting with the first one. Make sure you don't get the cable needle twisted up so that you're like this and knitting. And you see how I twisted that?
Right.
And you'll be knitting them in opposite order. Make sure you keep them in the order that they fall on the needle, and then you knit 3 off of the cable needle. And that is a little bit tight, but there we go. And you've just made that twist that happens right here, just once in the middle of every motif. So do you want me to show you that again? You got it?
Can you show it one more time, please?
Sure, absolutely. Let's take it apart here.
Pam, one of the videos I watched showed that the needles were moved onto the whatever you call it, and then put back on your left needle. But then I saw another one where the guy was doing what you did and just sewing it right from your
you can do it either way,
either
whatever
way.
you want to
It
do.
just saves steps if you do it right from your
Yeah, I've always done
your
it straight direct
yeah,
from the cable needle,
right
but
from the
if
cable needle.
if it's easier, then absolutely. There's so many different ways to perform the same stitches or the same processes in knitting. So right here, I've got to make a twist. I've come up to that place in the chart. I have look on the chart on row 3. I've knit 2. I've knit 2 together. I've yarn over, and I've knit 1. And now there's that little funny doohickey. And that's where I start. Over these next 6 stitches, I put 3 stitches onto a cable needle, take them off, and place them behind your work. And by the way, this is a great pattern to play with cable needles for the first time, because it's so easy, and you're just doing one, you're just doing one twist. A lot of times you have to twist 2 different ways. This is a great way to get started. So there's 3 stitches on the back cable needle, and my yarn is in between the 2, ready to knit 3 stitches. Knit 3 stitches. Then put the yarn in back. I mean, if you want to do this, you could put them back on here on your left needle and then knit them. That would be perfectly fine. I find that to be an extra step that, oops, see what I did when I tried to do it. I don't do that because I feel like it's an extra step, but it's perfectly fine if that makes you feel more comfortable. And also my cable needle is just slightly smaller, so the stitches slide better. It's easier for me to knit off of them. But either way, you can see that I've got my twist. Knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, and pass the slip stitch over, and knit 2, and you're done with that 16. That will all fit within this 16 stitch. I didn't start with it correctly, so it's twisting at the wrong place, but that makes sense? Does that help you out? Okay, so, and like Char did, I put markers between every 16th, like the chart goes from here to here. That's one chart repeat. And it really helped me in the beginning when I would maybe forget to do a yarn over, and then the next row I wouldn't have enough stitches. I could just go through and count real quickly and make sure, yep, I got 16 and I'm good to go. And after the same as, it seems like it always happens, the same, you get into a pattern and you get into a routine, and then all of a sudden you're on count. But sometimes the first couple repeats and the first couple times you do something, it just takes you a little while to get into the rhythm of it. But after a couple, trust me, you're going to memorize the pattern. You probably have the pattern memorized, right, Char?
Well, I was just going to do a confession that I have to write out the actual pattern. I word process it so I can just go line by line, and then I just cross it off as I go. I have it sit on my little easel. And that's just because I think my eyes wander too much with the little charts, and I forget where I'm at.
Right.
And so I just and I think, are we going to do like 9 panels? Is that right? If I did the math right? 9 repeats?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just have 9 separate pages of, the directions for row 1 through 3, and then 4 through 12 is just knitting all the way around. So that's pretty easy. If anyone wants me to try to send that or put it in the chat, I could, unless you're super, super visual people and you just can look at a chart and no problem.
Yeah.
Does anyone want it written out like the way I did it?
Everybody's
I
good?
think the problem I find with charts is they're so small sometimes. How do people make them bigger?
Well, I will tell you my trick. I wish this would show better on camera. Let's see. This isn't going to show either. Can you see that? I use the program called Knit Companion. And if you have an iPad, that works really well. You can make them bigger, smaller, and then I just move the yellow mark up.
I've heard
It's
about that, and I don't know anyone who's used it, but I've heard good things about it. So I was thinking about should I use it or not. So that's interesting. So it picks up the chart from your pattern, from your Ravelry pattern, or wherever you.
yeah,
What if you didn't get it on Ravelry?
you can load it. Oh, where is it? It shows up here. Oh, I wish this wouldn't do this, but it does it here. Local, can you read where I can't quite read when I'm doing this, but it'll say local Ravelry, and so you can upload it from your local drive. Oh no, that's not where it says it. Where does it say it here?
From what you sent us
Here.
electronically, the PDF.
Yeah, from the PDF. See,
Right.
here are my
Yes.
PDFs that I've
Yes.
uploaded,
Yeah,
and
okay.
that's local. And then you just click on one of them that you want to do, and well, this one I've already done, but and then you say start project, and it will automatically just kind of suck it in,
Hmm.
and you're good to go. Since I started doing this, it's made things so much easier because I never lose place in my pattern ever now. Whereas before I would use magnetic boards. That works fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Moving that up, but I don't know. For me,
You find it
I'm
easier.
sitting there knitting and I just pop that little line that moves. I just pop it up or down, move it up.
What about when you're traveling? I mean, you don't
Well,
have it with you. You're not going to use your phone, right?
I mean, you can use your phone. I have used my phone. A chart would be harder to read on your phone. Yeah. Yeah, but I have used my phone. I always take my iPad wherever I go, you know, and so if I get there, I've got my iPad. Um,
Oh, it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi. You've already downloaded it. So
yeah,
you've already streamed it, so you don't need Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, all
yeah.
right. That makes sense. I was thinking about like when I'm driving with my husband and
Oh no, you could use
I
it.
knit a lot, but you're right. It doesn't have to be live. It doesn't have to
No,
be on Wi-Fi.
no, it's not. It's yeah. Once it's downloaded and everything is all
Okay.
in there,
Hmm.
then it's on. Especially if it's local. If it's local on your iPad's drive, then you've got it. Um, and you can use it. So that's how I do. And that way, if I do need to make something larger, um, and then when I'm just knitting along, I just put here I just put the little cursor or the highlighter exactly where I'm at. That way, my eye always goes back to it, and I don't have to spend any time finding it or focusing on it again.
And it saves it right where you're at.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and I'm pretty sure I can even go. I knit so many things at a time. I can go to another project and it
Yeah.
saves things there. And also here I've used this a lot too. On the side, it's got six different counters. So you know how sometimes it says to do something five times, five times in a row and then over 10 rows or something. And so you can keep the different areas that you're counting. I mean, I can't imagine you'd need more than six, but you've got all that counter there. You just touch it. Let's see. Yeah, you just touch it and it goes up.
What
And then
about
if
the
you
free version versus the paid version? Is
well,
there
I can't remember all the details. I can't It's been a little while since I signed up. So I did pay, I think it's like
$30 a year?
25. Yeah, okay, $30 a year. And I did sign up for that because I think there was something that I couldn't do
Ah.
that I wanted to do, and I can't remember what it was, but
Okay, but
yeah,
I didn't want to pay it unless I was going to use it, so I thought I should use the free one first to see if I really use it. Okay.
yeah. And you can do that as far as you can. I can't remember all the details of why that I went ahead and got you get so many subscriptions. I was kind of like, oh, really another subscription? But it's well worth it now that I've used it. It's just, I mean, I have nothing to do with Knit Companion, so
No, that's good to know. No, I've heard things. I've heard about it.
yeah, yeah. I really like it. Okay, so you got we'll talk more in another knit along about the super duper way of making a knit in the round swatch, but you've got your swatch, you've picked your size, and Becky, you're going to pick another size.
I'm recasting on. Sorry. I was so proud of myself. I finished the whole band and I was working on the first row stockinette. I was putting on a different size needle. I'm like, well, let me just try this thing on because they're all bunched up. So I put it there. It's on half on one needle, half on the other. So I just put it over my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 12 extra inches of fabric here. So
Did you cast on in with the smaller needles?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you use the, what is it, size 2?
Yeah, the 3 millimeter. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And which size did you start knitting?
I want to say it was XL.
Yeah,
It was like
that's too
40,
big.
46 or 47 bust dimension. And it's like 12 inches of extra fabric. I don't know. I'm not a very good knitter, so I usually have to restart projects 3 or 4 times. So I was really proud. I thought I didn't have to restart this one.
Well, you wouldn't want to change your habit.
I'm hoping if I keep plugging away at it, I'll get better at it. But
You will, but you know what? I've been knitting my whole life, and often I'll get started and then it's like, oh wait, I would have done that differently, and I'll rip out too. There's no shame in ripping out.
yeah, if that upset me too much, I probably would give up the hobby.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You were gonna say something, Shar?
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you have a sweater somewhere that fits comfortably in a way that you like I will, and I'm not a pro either, but I've done quite a few sweaters now, and I just kind of know, like one of our earlier ones that we had done, I had sewn I had knitted a medium, and I'm really a small in that particular size. So now I've redone it twice and in a small, and it's one of my favorite sweaters. So it's just knowing kind of how you wear the sweater, but if you've got one that you like, then you can just set your bottom against it and kind of guesstimate that, yeah, that's about right. It's kind of stretchy or it's not stretchy and then, and looking at the other schematics too for bust size and shoulder length and all that kind of stuff is critical too. But, just grab a sweater that you wear typically and just measure it and see how it looks, even against the schematics from the pattern. I don't know.
Well,
Those
I'll
are
give
my
that a
little
try.
words of wisdom. I don't know if that makes, a whole lot of sense to everybody, but seems to work.
Yeah, and that works along with you do have to swatch. I mean, you
Yeah.
just do have to swatch because you just never know how you're going to knit that particular yarn, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Joy, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm still casting on. So
Okay.
I'm almost there. I'm counting.
Oh, yeah. I'm about ready to get some stitch markers in the shop that say, let's see, is this 25, 50, and hundreds, so that you can, while you're casting on, you can say, okay, there's 25 or there's 50 or there's 100, and that way you don't have to keep recounting the same stitches over and over again. I thought, oh, I could use those.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, very nice. All right. So just gonna da da da. Okay, we'll come back to some of those instructions when we get along a little bit farther. So then once you knit the back and you've knit that 11.8, mine was 11.8 inches. A lot of those first few are 11.8. Then you divide the work and you divide that exactly in half. For my size, there was 250 stitches, so 125 for one side and 125 for the other. And I just put mine on this little doohickey here. that I got for a couple dollars on Amazon from Clover. And sometimes I use the cables, but I've got so many works in progress sitting around that I've used up all my cables. So you can just take them off the little needle, just take them off, uh, stick them in here to hold it, and here, I'll make it larger.
And what is that doohickey called?
Oh, what's it called? And then I just stick it in the other end to make sure that it doesn't just pull right out again. And it just it keeps things all together. I don't have to worry about it. Let me find the link on Amazon. It's
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, I guess.
No, that's fine. I like to help. I like to use the cables from my interchangeable needle sets and then put the little caps on the ends.
Oh,
That works
I
perfectly
yeah,
too. I do that a lot.
yeah,
Here are the little caps,
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
screw
I
one
do
of those
those
on
too.
each end. That works perfect. The one thing I like about this one is that it already has a needle on it, so you don't have to put a needle on that. It's not a big deal either way, but or use a piece of yarn. Thread a piece of yarn through a
Yeah,
tapestry
that's what I
needle.
do. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I do.
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But I just got a couple more sets of those so I can.
I feel sorry for my Amazon guy sometimes. Like, oh, here he comes again. I ordered something, just this little thing I need that. Here he comes.
I know it's called a circular. This is a short one that I got. A short stitch. I'll put it in the short stitch holder.
Short stitch holder. Okay.
Yeah, and it's by Clover. Again, not the only way to do it, but I've been enjoying them.
A little bit easier, I think, when you're using some sort of cord, because when you're using yarn, I mean, you can whip through pretty quick with a tapestry needle, but then I don't know. I think it's harder to load back on your
Yeah,
working needle eventually.
100%. Yeah. And this is really easy because again, you have this little tiny tip, this
Yeah.
fairly short tip, and it just gives you something to pull the stitches off. Yeah. Anyway, so then after you've divided it, you obviously continue in rows back and forth instead of knitting circular. And there are different instructions if you're knitting size XL to 5XL. You decrease 2 stitches at the beginning and the end of each right side row. You decrease 2 stitches at the beginning and the end of each right side row. And for all of the other sizes, you decrease only 1 stitch at the beginning and the end of each right side row. So the instructions are broken out into sizes extra small, small, medium, and large, which have you decreasing 1 at each end of each right side row. And then sizes XL on up have you decreasing 2. So there's just a distinction. Make sure you choose the size that you are knitting.
So Pam, I've got a question about staying in pattern then. Um, ooh, what's the best way to do that? Are you just eyeballing it, or are you finding dead center and then figuring out your 16 on either side? What's the best way to
I kept my markers on.
Right. Okay. So then when you are
So
dividing in half, then your markers are going to stay true to what
yeah.
you need to be doing. Ah, okay.
So you can see I've been decreasing here on this side.
Right. Okay.
And pretty soon I'm going to decrease so far that it's going to encroach upon this, whereupon I'll just,
Okay.
I'll have, you'll have to probably play it by ear a little bit, but yeah, you just keep.
So then you figure out where you're at on that particular row
And then
with,
you knit plain. I think the instructions say Be sure that the yarn overs and stitches knitted together always balance one another out in the pattern. Otherwise, work any incomplete pattern repeats in stockinette stitch. So, you know, I
So
think it's going to make sense as you start
is
doing
it
it.
okay? Okay.
Like for instance, this is more than 16 probably. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It's 17. And
Okay.
now after I've knitted back to here, I will um decrease one stitch here. So I won't have a full 16. I started out with a full 16 and I did this motif repeat here, those first
Okay.
three rows. And then now the next time I'm going to encroach upon the repeat and I'll just do stockinette. Fortunately, I've got 9 stockinette rows here, so
Right.
that's very easy. So I'll see where I'm at after let's see, 9 rows would be about 4 decreases. So decreasing 1, 2, 3, 4, I will have lost that many. You'll know
Right.
when you get there.
So
Does that make sense?
you're decreasing on the right side or the wrong side?
The right side.
On the right
Always,
side.
yeah, always the right side.
Okay, so then you still keep up with the knitting of the rows 4 through 12. I'm sorry, 4 through 12. Yeah,
Hmm.
rows 4 through 12. Okay. So now when it says something about one of the stitches being the end stitch or whatever, yeah,
Okay,
that
that's
just
what.
means okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, that's what I am. I last night I was knitting and trying to figure out the best way. The pattern says to make the edge stitch a chain stitch. You'll see right underneath where it says part 2 back. I keep trying to make this work. Let's see.
Part to back.
Maybe that'll work better.
I've got a hard copy of the actual pattern here. Hang
So
on.
the back section is continued in rows, and
Mm-hmm.
then underneath
Right.
here, right underneath that section that's bolded, it talks about what I just read, decrease 2 at the beginning for the different sizes, and the very
Yes.
last sentence says work all edge stitch as chain edge stitch. Okay, so I was knitting last night, and because I wanted to get to this part before we had our session today, so that I could show you what I was doing. And I don't know if you can see here, I did a couple of rows. And can you see how long those stitches are?
Yes.
Because when you chain edge stitch, one of these chains goes over 2 rows.
Oh,
And that's what makes it nice and smooth. And that works out fine, in my opinion, when you have I mean, I'm getting kind of into the weeds here, but I didn't like this. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess it looks fine here. I guess you're not going to notice. And then this decrease thing is going to start, and you're going to have this nice row of decrease stitches that will start appearing, and that will be fine. But I just wasn't happy with this. It seemed a little flimsy to me, and I just didn't like the edge, the chain edge. Chain edge is achieved by flipping knitwise the first stitch of the right side row, flipping knitwise, knit all the way across, slip the last one knitwise, and then purling all the stitches back. And then you just keep repeating that. You slip the first stitch knitwise and the last stitch knitwise of every right side row, and you purl all the stitches coming back. And that's how that is done. And again, I just wasn't happy with it. So I started looking at different ways to do edges. And I've come up with something that I don't know if you can see here. I've just started. I literally have been working on it frantically this morning, right before we started, to try to get it to the point to show you. You can see these are big, but you can see these last two, they're a little smaller, and yet
Mm,
still they're still
flexible, stretchy.
smooth. Well, they're
Okay.
still smooth. You don't really want stretch here. You want it.
You want it smooth.
I may be making a big deal about nothing because actually now that I'm looking at it, at 11 o'clock last night, I just got a bee in my bonnet that I didn't like this. So anyway, I'm going to tell you what I have come up with. And I've practiced on this and I've just started on the linen, but you can't see very much of it, but you can see it better on this little sample. And it's a 3 stitch on our pattern. It calls for work a 3 stitch stockinette. So, there's a 3 stitch edge before you decrease, right? In row 3, if you look at row 3, there's it has an edge stitch and it says work a 3 stitch stockinette. So I've switched it to, I've gotten rid of the edge stitch and I'm just doing the 3 stitches, I'm working with the 3 stockinette stitches. And here's my little cheat sheet that I wrote down. And I'll give you this in case
Okay.
you're interested in going down this rabbit hole with me. You don't have to. It's just, I feel like you can see here, I just think it looks beautiful.
That does look pretty. Yeah.
And it seems nice and sturdy, like that edge is going to be nice, finished, and it's going to be more than having just this thin little couple
Right.
pieces of thread there. It will have just a slightly nice, I've just done it on 2 rows, but you can kind of start to see them going. And then after those 3 stitches, I'm going to do the decrease at the end of inside those 3 stitches, very similar to what they've said to do. Um, and so that decrease will start lining up, and then we'll have this nice kind of more substantial edge here. And this is how you do it. I still need my little cheat sheet here.
So
You
you're
slip,
go ahead.
yeah, you slip
I'm gonna
purlwise with yarn and back. So yarn, this is the right side. Slip purlwise with yarn and back. Slip purlwise with yarn in front. And then knit one. And then knit your row and do all your little doohickeys that you need to do. Cable, twist, yarn over, knit 2 together, all of those things, whatever that you need to do on the inside. Come to the last 3 stitches, and then this is the end of the row. Knit one, slip one purlwise with yarn in front, and purl one.
cool.
Turn your work, and then slip one purlwise with yarn in back. And I give that a little tug, and believe it or not, that has always incorporated itself, and I've been fine. So slip with yarn in back, knit one, slip yarn purlwise with yarn in front, and then I've got to purl the rest of this row because we're on the purl side. There are no, I haven't incorporated the decreases in this little sample. I just wanted to look at the edge. But you would do the decrease directly after those first 3 stitches. And you can see that stitch looked really big and everything, but everything resolved itself and it's nice and neat.
Right. So you're doing the right side, wrong side, row 3 and row 4, and you're repeating it. Well, for me, like 30 times. It'll be 33 times for you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then that is just bringing that kind of a E on the back. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So then on the last part of the purl row is slip purlwise with yarn in front, knit one, and purl one. So I'm just really happy with what that looks like here. Like I said, I just have two. I just think that's beautiful, and I just really want that little bit of a more structured edge on my thing. Again, this is
That
not
looks really
necessary.
pretty. I think that's gonna pop more and look just nicer, I
I
think.
think so too. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you
So
put that in the chat or just or put it in
I
our
will. I
yeah,
will.
on the Facebook page or something?
Oh, Carmen, she had to leave. I didn't see her. Bye, Carmen. I don't have eyes in the back of my head, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll get that to you before I go. So I think that will take you ladies quite a long ways. You know, if you're casting on, getting your size together, getting the chart and the pattern all under your belt and knitting all the way up to separating, and then you can start your decreases and do that edge stitch if you want. Okay, and now let's talk about this one last thing before we'll stop for the day after this one last note, and that is at the same time. Do you see right underneath where it says up here on the
Yeah,
top?
on page 3 at the same time, shape the neckline.
Right. So when you've worked, and mine will be 58 rows from the stitch division, place a marker at the center of the row and continue working with short rows in short rows period. In the following right side row, work up to, mine will be 5 stitches before center. And turn with a double stitch. So let's talk about that next time, okay? If you ladies get up to 58 rows from the stitch division, we can talk about the short rows after that, because I really like German short rows, and I'm looking here to see which ones they're using. Oh, they're using German short rows. Okay, so that'll be really easy to do. They've written it out in German short row fashion, and that's my favorite. Um, so you work up to 5 stitches before the center marker and turn with a double stitch. I can show you that just really fast, I think, with this little.
I'm wondering if that's what I do when I make socks or short rows where you flip it kind of halfway through.
Short rows are probably what you do, right, when you do socks, yeah. Let me stay in this little pattern here, but I'll show you. Okay. So you're knitting, and then it says knit up to X number of stitches before the center marker. So see the center marker is here.
Right.
And I think mine was 5 stitches before. Turn your work and pull a double stitch up. That's what it means in German short rows to pull a double stitch up. You create that double stitch. So we'll talk about that. This is a little complicated, and I don't want to start working on it right now. If you're new to short rows, let's go ahead and wait. And in fact, looking at the pattern, there is a chance that we will go ahead and have, just depending on if you ladies are hanging in with me, which I hope you are, we can talk more in detail about this, because I think it's really important to finish your work beautifully. And I guess that's why I made such a big deal about that 3-stitch edge, is because finishing it beautifully is all the difference between it looking, you can do everything else right, but it's all the difference between it looking like a really professionally finished garment and just something that, oh yeah, that's okay. I always am looking for ways to sort of just bump things up to make them look really professional. Um,
Cool.
so I want to make sure I help you ladies, get to that point and feel really good about what you did. So once you start decreasing, it's going to go a lot faster because obviously your rows are going to get shorter and shorter. So we'll meet back next week after you worked. I mean, and if you don't get that, I'm sorry, it's not next week, it's 2 weeks. And if you aren't up to this point, but if you do get up to the point where you, at the same time, when you've worked X number of rows, if you get up to that point, then we can start right there on the short rows and talk about the front and finishing out the neck.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I've done a lot of talking there. I hope I didn't confuse you.
So Pam, how's your yarn holding out? I feel like I'm almost down. Well, I'm getting down to the last little, I just dropped it. My yarn went flying. My last little bit of the first skein of mine.
So here's the deal. I was shocked at how quickly I came to the last of the first skein, and I thought, what? That's really eating the yarn up so quickly. And I
Right.
was kind of surprised. But I kept soldering on, and the second skein took me way farther. So I think this twisted rib really ate up a lot of yarn.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the same experience. So now I just barely started my third hank.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
I just barely started and I've already divided and everything. And I've just, like, oh, I wanted to show you one more thing. Are you game for one
Oh, yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
little
Absolutely.
okay, let me show you this too. It's not that it's not that it's not so you can find it on YouTube all over the place, but this is what I used. You know how some yarns are just so easy to um some yarns are just so easy to uh join together, and you can hide things, like this yarn would be so easy. It's 100% wool. I'd probably do a spit splice and it would be totally invisible and everything would be just perfect. But this, it's kind of lacy, a little bit see-through, and the linen isn't quite as grabby as a wool would be. So, animal fiber is always a little bit more grabby. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you how I joined yarn because I did have to join because I was knitting in the round. I had to join right in the middle of the
Right.
round.
Yeah.
So here's the end. I'm all out of yarn. Oh dear, what do I do? Here's a new ball of yarn. Lay it over the top here and grab the tails together and knit 2 stitches. You don't have to knit any more than 2, and I'll try to find you where I did this on the sweater. Knit 2 stitches, drop the tails, grab your new yarn, and just keep knitting. And then when you come back through on the other way, oh, I want my edge stitch, sorry. And I still have to look, I don't have it memorized. So then when you come back through, you've got double stitches here, or double, you've got 2 strands of yarn, and all you do is just purl those two together, just act like it's one stitch. And
Oh, it doesn't make
boom,
it poke up.
No, I'll show you what happened. If I can even find, I'll have to look on the back to find where I did it. Here, oh, here it is. So here are my tails,
Right.
and here's where I did it. So right here, right, right there.
Okay. Huh.
You can pull on it. You can see this is, yeah, that's right where
Just
I
kind of
did it.
blends in. Yeah.
It's completely invisible. These double things go to the back, and then just weave that in, and that will be nice and tight. It won't be seen through the lacy fabric, and you're good to go.
So you do that for 2 stitches and then you on the other so you're gonna do it on the right side so it shows up in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And
Do it
then
on, yeah.
and then did you say that you purl those two together? Or no, you just knit with them. They're doubled up, so you just knit them as one for each stitch.
Yeah, you knit them as
Let me
one for
watch
each.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, you knit them as one for each stitch. I can do it
Right.
again the next row here. So then when you come purling back, you just treat it as
One stitch.
one stitch. So here's
Yeah,
one
yeah. Okay,
stitch.
cool.
And then, you're going to have to give that a tug,
Yeah, okay.
Ta-da.
Okay.
And then once that's kind of snugged up there, you can see once I get another row knitted, you're not going to be able to see that.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, personally, I would still spit splice this because I just think, to me, that's the best way to do 100% wool. But for this linen in a kind of a lacy pattern, boy, I was really, really pleased with how it turned out.
Cool. That seems like a
Okay.
really good idea. All right.
So how does everybody feel? Everybody ready to go?
Yeah, I'm just feeling like it's going to take me a long time to do this because I have to be so careful with yeah, when I'm counting. But it's coming along.
Yeah, I think once you get, like I said, once you get two, maybe even three repeats, all of a sudden it'll just click into place. And I bet you anything you can just do it. I mean,
Yeah,
even if you can't, that's fine. But I would imagine that it'll be
it
easy
comes
for
to you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being on just the knit rows. Those are, yeah,
I know.
they're easy. Quick and
Before,
easy, and I can be watching TV or whatever, and yeah, or talking, and
yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, that's one reason why, like I said before, I loved this design is because it gave me a little bit of interest every, 12 or every 12 rows or so, or every 9 rows or so. It gave me a little bit of interest. And then, oh, I'm back to just going smoothly along. And then, oh, well, that's kind of boring. Oh, well, look, I can do something a little bit different. And I love the motif. I just think it's really sweet. And once that's all blocked, we'll talk about that also. Blocking it and letting it relax and letting all those stitches lay flat. I saw the sweater that's in the photograph on the pattern. I believe that's the very garment that I saw at a knitting trade show.
Oh,
And yeah, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. I fell in love with it. It was a little over 2 years ago, and it was in this shop last summer. And I thought, oh, I just loved it so much. I thought I'm going to do a knit along. That'll make sure that I'll be able to knit one so I can have one.
well, I'm definitely getting over my fear of using a cable needle because I just think
Good.
it's beautiful, and I thought, oh, like now I know how to do at least the simple one.
It looks so fancy, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
wow, that's all you have to do.
that's cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for your help today.
Okay, you're most welcome. make sure you pop into the Facebook group if you have questions in the next 2 weeks before our next session. And we'll see you next time. And happy knitting.
And you too. Thank you. Good to meet you,
Thank
Joy.
you.
And
Thank
Becky
you.
is, yeah. All righty.
Bye, Joy.
Thanks,
Bye,
Marla.
Becky. Have
Bye.
fun at the
Bye.
lake.
Bye. Thanks. It's a
Bye-bye.
thunderstorm now. I gotta leave.
Have
Bye.
fun. Bye bye.